There he is. Let's see what we got here. Caught a couple rainbows out of this little run. Better fish here, I think. Rainbow. Oh yeah, nice fish. Nice little rainbow. Look at that color on that thing. What a beauty. All right, hang on. Very angry. All right. It's a beautiful fish. All right, go back and get him. Okay. I think I'm this little run up the river here. I think I've caught, I think that's my 5th or 6th to the net here. Nice little run. Great little spot for Euro nymphing. So Euro nymphing, you want to start close when you get to a place. Get your feet steady, start close, and then broaden out just a little bit at a time. Get tight to your line quickly as possible. Keep your sider off the water. Let those nymphs get down. And then every time just extend that a little bit. And that's how you cover water. Now, you can do that without moving your feet. And just cover that water. Make sure you get a good drift. Hung up there, I think. Let's see my flies, yeah. Good drift on every little seam that you can. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of a step forward. Now I can cover more water. Now I could cast to there, but why cast if you can take a couple of steps and fish it? I'm going to be more efficient, less drag. I'm going to get way better drifts by moving just a little bit closer. It's one of the things that I see people learning Euro nymphing that miss out. They're going to, just once they learn how to cast, they're going to cast as far as they can. I feel like being a good Euro nympher or getting adept at it is also a big part of it is there he is. Little guy. Oh, that's on the top fly. Just right as I was picking it up, he hit it. Let's see, he's not very big. Oh, he came off. All right, he was on my top fly. So back to what I was saying, part of, I feel like, because fly fishing in general is a close, you're close to the fish anyway, for the most part. There are always exceptions. Tight line nymphing is even closer. And so just cover that water as best as you can with as minimal. There he is. Oh, skeet him in here. He's a little guy. Sorry about the rough ride in here, fella. Let's see if I can get you out. Looks as big as you are. People, if you don't want to wade very much, then Euro nymphing may not be for you, because I feel like that it's such an essential part. You want to get close, and you want your drifts to be as drag free as possible. That's why we call it the dead drift. Just getting those nymphs just going down as close as you can. So now I'm going to take a step back. This is treacherous wading in here, a lot of boulders. Take a couple steps down, reset. I'm going to do the same thing. One thing about Euro nymphing is just a couple of steps downstream, your flies are presenting totally different than they just did. Especially on the bottom end of your drift. But even in the middle, because now my flies are to depth, And there he is. Nope, that's a stick. All right, but just gonna get out there. I'm not gonna try to cast too far, just as far as I can without feeling like I'm losing. All right, now I'm gonna take a step forward and do the same thing. Just covering this water. When I teach this, you know, and I'm by no means an expert. There are people that are far better at this than me, but I promise you, you can do this and you can get good at it. And when you get good at it, it's probably day in and day out going to be your best bet for catching a lot of fish, and especially picky fish. Like that little deep pocket right there. I already pulled a couple fish out of it. Don't want to get too close, but I want to fish it as efficiently as I can. So I'm going to make probably a little farther cast than I like to. See, I don't like how I'm tailing out at the bottom. So I'm going to just take a step forward. Now look how much difference that makes. This is a 10'9" rod, and right there, and you see the difference. My flies were able to get down, and I'm able to catch this little rainbow that before, you know, I didn't have any chance at. My net all hung up here on my wading staff. There we go. All right, buddy. Sorry about that. Gear malfunction. He's on my top fly, which is a little midge I tie. All right. Another rainbow. I haven't taken any browns out of this little area yet. Little red, blood red midge. Love that fly. All right. So I've got a couple on that here. But you can see, hopefully you can see that just taking a step forward here on this little run, tangled up or something here, allowed me to get my flies to depth where that fish was. I had already come through there a couple of times, but my flies were not to depth. See, so just this little bit forward, now my flies, even though that water's getting deeper and tailing out, I know at least at the top of it, my flies were to depth. Take another step forward here, just a half step. Fish this just right under this bank if I can, as close as I can get it, without getting hung up over there. Let's see. No, too close. All right. All right, you can see I'm still tailing out when I get to there. The water's pushing, my flies are coming up, and sometimes you'll catch a fish doing that. But now I'm just gonna take a couple of steps downstream, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And you'll be amazed at how just a little difference in just a couple of steps can make for your presentation. So important. And I'm gonna fish this whole run like this. Hopefully there's a nice one sitting down in there. And even yet, my flies are tailing out a little bit there. Oh. Hatch there, little BWO hatch, very common this time of the year for this area. I'm just taking a step forward to make sure that my flies are getting down there. There's a fish right there. And again, that's just right there on that bottom. Oh, come off. That was another rainbow. Oh, that was a good fish too. Better fish. You can see though, I'm letting those flies get down. And that's so essential. Right in there is where he hit. Boom. And my fly is probably already starting to come up there. And you can kind of sense that by watching your leader. So once I get past this position, so I'm casting a little bit ahead of me, And once I get past this position, at distance, if I'm a little farther than out from underneath my rod tip, my flies are starting to come up, no question about it. So for me, if you can see, Euro nymphing, for me, my most productive area is right here. After that, that becomes, I'm not saying you can't catch fish there, you can, and I have. But that's my most productive area, is right there. Because once I get to here, in that deep water, my flies are starting to come up, and I'm losing touch with them. So let's just take another couple steps downstream here. Take a step back, and just keep working this area. That deep water is my target, but I don't want to miss a fish that's right here, especially as it gets past me. Right in there, I think, might be a good opportunity for a fish as well. Let's get tight to these lines. This water's moving a little bit more here, which means my flies are moving faster. So I've got to compensate for that drift a little bit. See if I can catch another one out of this tail here. It's important too, you'll notice when you're Euro nymphing, one of the things that we do, and it's hard to teach this, people can't seem to grasp it, but at the end of your drift, just a quick little hook set. You're going to be resetting your cast anyway, so why not do that? And I can't tell you how many fish I have caught just by doing that. I'm getting ready to take a step forward here to cover that last little area over there. Just that last little step. I'm going to take one step and another step, and just the difference in that, I can't emphasize enough how significant that difference is to my drift. It's a totally different drift now in that area. Because I just take a step forward. I'm going to take another step forward here too, probably, just to cover that little limb that's in the ground right there. Just that's a half step forward, and that's enabling me to cover that just a little bit better. All right, well, this was a great spot in the river, and the fish were helping us by showing up, but just to kind of show some of the advantages and methods of Euro nymphing or tightline fishing. All right.